So the latest podcast I listened to, Latino USA, is the Battle of 187. I am sad to say that being someone who knows a lot about the immigration history and the Mexican American, I don't know what you would call it, but battle at the border, did not know about Prop 187 that was first brought to the table in 1994 and its effects. It's so interesting because when I was listening to it, usually I have a lot of words that I jot down, but this was the first one where I kept seeing images and I wanted to make a collage. I attempted to make one, but it was not coming up how I envisioned it. So I am going to talk about what images it brought up for me. So recently I have been seeing this, I don't even know how to explain it. I don't know, like it's like a spirit guide, I guess, if you will, of a me, I think, because her face is kind of blurry, but I'm gonna say it's me as a Chicana activist. For some reason, wearing 1940s, the like flary, loose, high-waisted 1940s pants that are green, and a brown 1940-ish top that is brown, tan-ish color. Her hair is also very 1940s with a beret. That's how I know she's a Chicana activist, because it's a brown beret. And she very much came when I was listening to this podcast. So what I tried to do was have my face, but like half of it very clear, and then the other side blurry, because I know what I want to say. I know what I want to speak up about, but then it gets blurred by the messages, such as like the stuff that comes up with with 187 of, go back to your country. Even in the 1930s, I was trying to find images where it was no whites only, no Mexicans allowed. About education, because we had the Mendez case. I think it was Mendez. Before Brown versus Board of Education. And I was trying to find images of the segregations of schools that still, to some extent, exist today, and just all of the systemic oppressions that silence a voice. And then on the other side, I was having the activist side of things I wanted to say. I found some signs where they said, "This is my home," claiming to Aslan. My favorite phrase, "La gente unida jamás será vencida," which means people united shall never be divided. It was just, I think that's what I felt listening to it, is just all this layers of oppression and silence. It made me think of, I wish I could remember, my friend, he, in our senior seminar we started a company in the margin, and in our final piece together before graduating, he wrote something, and it's been sticking with me, and I think those were the only words that came up when listening. How can we speak when everything we've been taught has told us not to? And I'm paraphrasing, and I wish I could remember, but that came up, and I think that's just how I've been feeling. How do you speak when you've been taught not to? And when there's layers and layers of being told no. I think also she has been coming to me, or, like seeing this image, because I have been, see, I don't even know how to say this. Not a laziness, but I would say laziness of like, there's still more work to do. And I don't know how much of it I really want to carry. But I know that, and I don't know, I don't want to say have to, but almost in a sense, yes, because it's important to me. And I think I have to learn how to speak up. It goes back to that. How do you speak up? I also I think I'm tired of people not taking responsibility. It's especially, like white people, and there's my bias, but like Senator Wilson, who created this legislation just to have the vote of white people, and Republicans who are against illegals, and I hate that word. I hate aliens even more, because I just want to ask, like, okay, cool, so you're a Native American then, because your family also immigrated here. But I know that won't do any good, and there goes the silence again. It's traumatizing, and I think I get to the point where I want to laugh at the white fragility of it all. Yeah. I also had images of like this Prop 187, and I wanted to parallel it with Trump's platform because it seems so similar. I also think that this Chicana image came to me, and it's so crazy because when I was listening to it, they were talking to Gerardo Correa, who in high school he was attending the Chicano Latino Youth Leadership Conference or project, and it brought about his Chicano activism. That's when he first learned about Prop 187, and today he is the president of that. And I'm so thankful that it's still around to empower Chicano youths in California, and that I was able to be a part of it. Class of 2006. They're 20, I think they've been around for a while now. But to be a part of that legacy reminded me of where my Chicano activist roots came from. And it was a great reminder that I still have more giving back to do. And I think that's what she wants. That part of myself wants to remind me to go back to those roots. because I've been scared and I've allowed people to have my power, and I've been complacent in being silent, and I can't be anymore. So that is what I sat with after listening to it. But also, like, these visions keep coming up because I think it's something that I need to keep in the back of my mind. And I think she's someone I'm going to keep with me. Yeah. So it was just like a full circle moment. And I literally, as you see me crying, that was the same response I had when sitting walking around New York. Just the name of Chicano Latino Youth Leadership Project just took me back to being 16. And that awakening of my political identity, and for it to still be around all these years. And I think it brought back the idea of generational trauma and heritage, and that's very much of what is in my California history. And yeah, it almost too like the silences of narratives that don't get told, because I had no idea. And I talked to my mom and dad, just wondering, because they were much older in the 90s, if they remembered that, and they had never heard of it. So that was interesting too. Um, Silence narratives. Thanks for watching.